We live in a town with extreme fire hazard. We all know it. We all see it. We all know that a disaster with Portola Valley's name on it is only as far away as the next dry lightning storm, or the next hiccup from PG&E, or the next interaction between car and vegetation, or the next bad lithium-ion battery. Wildfire can consume Portola Valley in a matter of hours, and we worry about whether we'll be able to evacuate in time. We're all in this together. We're all members of the same village facing an existential threat. We've got to work together to soberly address that threat. As we plan for a population growth of 20% in an 8-year period, state law requires us to address a critically important component of wildfire safety: fire-safe development practices. The California Environmental Quality Act was written to ensure public safety is protected even when there is significant growth. It required the town of Portola Valley to characterize its fire hazard, identify the impacts that changes to its general plan would have on public safety, and adopt appropriate measures to mitigate those impacts. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Why did Portola Valley fail to comply with these state public safety mandates? It's not clear. The volunteer residents who represent us on the town council may have felt forced by time pressure to approve this non-compliant document. They may have mistakenly felt that it was necessary to subordinate safety to housing, given the heavy-handed demands of Sacramento and threat of onerous penalties. They may have felt that the flaws could be fixed later, and by promising to adopt the fire district's mitigations in the future, they demonstrated good intent. But what matters is the findings of record in the state-mandated environmental analysis. What are some of the failings of the environmental analysis? Very briefly, the Woodside Fire Protection District repeatedly told the town of Portola Valley that there is significant fire hazard throughout the entire town. What Portola Valley submitted to the state indicates that there is no significant fire hazard whatsoever in the vast majority of our area. The fire district repeatedly told Portola Valley that basic safety mitigations are needed to reduce the risk of new, dense development to residents and to firefighters. What Portola Valley submitted to the state indicated that no safety mitigations are needed. All fire safety authorities who have examined this agree. The rigorously developed and carefully vetted fire hazard map in the general plan is the most accurate we have. What town planners George Mader and Tom Vlasic said at the time remains true today. Quote, "It behooves the town to submit the most accurate information," which, at the moment, is of course the work of Ray Moritz. But instead, the general plan fire hazard map was ignored, and the state-mandated analysis was based on a map that the fire district says is inaccurate, unsafe, and not suitable for adoption. With this map change, the town of Portola Valley reported to the state that the sites of proposed new development are not in areas of significant fire hazard. High-density housing in these areas, the town of Portola Valley asserted, will therefore have no significant impact on public safety and therefore no need for any mitigations. These conclusions are patently false and dangerous. Because this official, state-mandated document will provide the basis for HCD, developers, and others to push back against new fire safety measures, it needs to be corrected. The lives of current and future residents depend on it. Was it necessary to ignore wildfire risk and recommended public safety measures in order to meet our housing quota? Not at all. The life-saving measures recommended by the fire district include provisions to accommodate high-density housing, such as use of non-combustible fire barriers and elimination of openings on closely spaced walls. The fire district provided a number of such options to accommodate high-density housing. But what's not an option is to simply ignore our fire hazard and ignore the fire district's warnings that safety provisions are required. The fire district safety measures might make it slightly more expensive for developers, but we shouldn't have to sacrifice our family's safety for the benefit of developers. If they want to develop in hazardous areas, they need to candidly acknowledge those hazards and adopt the mitigations necessary to protect the safety of current and future residents. Do you agree that Portola Valley should comply with state public safety mandates? That policy decisions should be made using the best available data? that Portola Valley's general plan was carefully crafted to protect the safety and values of Portola Valley residents, is the reason the unique and wonderful town we live in today exists, and should be changed only through a public and transparent process. If you agree with these goals and you'd like to see this work continue, let Public Safety for PV Now know by joining its mailing list and sending an email or leaving a comment below. Let it know if you'd like to help out. The solutions to these problems require the engagement of the entire community. I encourage you to invest the time and effort to develop an informed opinion and then let your voice be heard. The lives of current and future residents depend on it.